Hi, I'm Bella. I'm a painter from South East London and I'm currently studying fine art. I got into fine art because I wanted a way to explore the things that were interesting to me. I like how it sort of allows me to take things that I don't quite understand, like things from science and literature and things that I don't know quite how to make my brain make sense of it, and I can mull it over in a way that does make sense to me, and I get like this physical record of sort of my processing as I try and work things out. Right now I'm focusing on how the autograph, like painting and drawing, which can't be replicated by machine, they're entirely human processes, how those things can intersect with digital media and technology and where the lines are in between those. So I've been looking quite a lot at cyanotype artists like Amy Ash and Anna Atkins, who work with this very, very early form of photography which sits sort of somewhere between painting and like a light sensitive media like a film. And I've been working with combining that with painting and different kinds of media to sort of create more abstract painterly effects using photographic processes. I really like working with oil paint on wood board because I like how steeped in history it is. I work part-time at the National Gallery, which means that I'm surrounded by a lot of really classical, canonical art, and so I really like using those media to create something that I think is new and different, and I like combining it with things like cyanotyping chemicals, which is potassium ferrocyanide and ammonium citrate, to combine those processes. I like painting things and then animating them to create moving image stop motion. I'm really interested in the way that we can take the really rich history of painting and two-dimensional media and incorporate it into the post-truth digital age that we're living in. So recently I've been working with taking my two-dimensional art into other dimensional planes. I'm currently working on a painting based on a four-dimensional landscape that I created with a VR artist called Tom Oliver, and we're working on painting that so it'll essentially be a really classical painting that will be viewed through a VR headset. I'm also working on how I can fold the canvas and paint round corners and paint in sculptural form, so that I'm sort of taking this very two-dimensional media that classically sits on a wall and bring it into spaces and make those feel different because of it. I also have music practice, a classical music practice where I've been composing and premiering string quartets and chamber choir pieces based on Sylvia Plath and E. Cummings' poetry. I'm really interested in those spaces where art or music can intersect with literature specifically, and how we can reinterpret things in mediums that they weren't created in. So for example, how would you go about painting a poem, or what might a visual that an artist has created, what might that sound like if you were to interpret it in a soundscape? So I'm really interested in how all of the arts intersect with one another to create this sort of mass culture. I would say poetry is a really big inspiration for my art, and I'm working on a chapbook I think this year which I'm going to be illustrating, I think using collage and painting practices. The thing I love about art is how I get surrounded by these amazing communities of people who are all sort of trying to figure out like the spaces and the circumstances that they live in, and it all looks so different. So you can have like art sort of the way we have always told our stories throughout all of history, and so I really love how art allows me to be part of these communities of photographers and composers and musicians and actors and writers, because it allows us to interpret a reality that I don't think we quite understand, and I really, really enjoy that. I really love the sense of community in the artistic industries. If I had to summarise my art in one word, two words, I think I would say it was contemplative and curious. I hear a lot of male artists specifically, but just sort of artists in general, will explain their work as being quite explosive or bursting out of them. My art doesn't necessarily sit within that canon of reference. I sort of make it much more slowly and quietly, and I think about it and what it says and what it means, and I really enjoy the sort of quiet process and how it doesn't need to be loud.